was kind of like the ideal, just because like he rose to the top real quick. But even then, it took like a year, right? It's like, when we say real quick, like it still took quite some time for Hero to get to the top after returning from the military. It took Classic a little bit longer. But here we go. We're getting into the grand finals, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Amphion, we have the red Protoss player. Ooh. The Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Predictions now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Let's go. As we are going to be settling in. Absolutely not criticizing Trap. Anyone has any influence over their age? Trap doesn't stand a chance against Clem. That's it. We've seen Clem lose to older players, so like this idea of a player being too old, therefore they can't beat Clem, is just a weird thing to say. It just doesn't map onto like reality. Like what? Ay. Unless you're trying to make the argument, of course, that that you have to rely on other strengths to defeat a player like Clem. I think I can get behind that, right? If a player is faster, then like outsmarting, outpositioning, outplaying them in other ways is definitely what you have to rely upon. Like, sure, I can definitely say that if that's what you're saying. Which we have seen. But for now, we are getting into our next game, getting into our fresh series. Here we go, the grand finals of WardiTV Monday number 8. As the Reaper does get into the main base, getting a scout on MaxPax, gets eyes on the Twilight Council, is aware of what's going on. Twilight Council opener. Again, loading into Amphion, one of the more odd maps in the map pool, one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool as well. Short rushes this by air, very defendable third base. We'll see if we can embrace that as Reaper does move out. Este Flamio Hotman. I appreciate that you it's true. We need something Juanito instead. True. The capitalization. I noticed. I appreciate it. We all need some more Juanito in our lives. That's the secret. Not wrong. As behind this, Clem is getting to his 1-1-1. So far, just trying to get a read on what's going on. We do have confirmation, of course, that MaxPax is opening up Blink, and the question becomes, how many gateways? We have a second gateway here at the natural, so 2 gate Blink for the time being. Very safe, or standard, I should say. As a third gateway gets placed, getting up to 3 gate Blink, and do we throw down a 4th? Do we go up to 4 gates? MaxPax, he's still just building up. Clem moving out with a split push. He's got Marines and a Widowmine here towards the left, and he's got Reaper cycling towards the right. And we'll see what Clem can get done, and if MaxPax can keep up. So far, he has 4 Stalkers ready in the main. Reaper Hellion dives into the natural. MaxPax getting distracted. Oh! Mine Shot is not going to be wasted in the mineral line. Trying to go off on the Stalkers. 4 probes go down. So far, so good. And Clem does pull back. Does pull away. Meanwhile, the Cyclone does not get into the mineral line. Will get a Stalker, though. Up! Gets 1! 1 Stalker goes down. Not bad. And MaxPax defense. He did lose 4 probes in the process, though. On top of that, Clem, he saw the natural, saw the main, counted the gateways. Only 3 gateways here for MaxPax. So not the most amount of aggression. And Clem, he's setting up back at home. We're even following this up with Tank Banshee. Now, if you remember, Beyond attempted this build earlier against MaxPax. It was, I believe, in Game 3, the final game of the series, on Site Delta, but MaxPax, he was able to scout, able to confirm, able to deny this build, and Beyond just wasn't able to embrace it. This time, though, MaxPax is stuck at home. This time he's stuck at home, is now moving out with a handful of Stalkers, but has yet to confirm what's really going on. Blinking into the natural. Sneaking into the main. Tank shot goes off. Main base is vulnerable. No tank in the main. And the Banshee is revealed. And MaxPax knows. We've got a couple of SCVs. 3 SCVs going down. MaxPax pulling away. He has his observer in position. And it was just given the time he needed to respond, to react, and to be ready against the Banshee defense. Ready with the Banshee defense, even. So far, so good. Observer does spot the move out. Clem pushing towards the third. Shield batteries on the way. Mortal production has begun. And MaxPax is going to try to pick away at some of these reinforcements, at some of the main army. So far, unable to. Shield battery isn't done. A Stalker goes down. Oof. Brutal pickoff. And the main army is pushing in. Shield battery is not done. Tanks are within range of the shield battery. Goes down. No overcharge. Brutal pickup. MaxPax just getting pulled apart. Mortal has arrived. He blinks in. Gets one. Gets two. Gets both tanks. And MaxPax holds. Does hold on. A nice round here from MaxPax. Coming from behind. Shuts down the push. And saves the third. That's what's important. He saves the third base. Clem diving back into the main, getting an observer. Oh, the efficiency of this one drop. He's gotten so much with it. But MaxPax doesn't slow down. Commits to the counterattack. No bunker, no tank on the high ground. The Stalkers have potential. Likewise, no stim either. So far, the control is good. Nice blinks, nice War Prism Micro as well. Yeah, the Marine count is being thinned out, and MaxPax, he does push in. Again, Clem, he was not expecting this kind of aggression here because of his push. Boys are being pulled, SCVs are falling, but he does get the Immortal though. It looks like Clem might just barely not have enough. And MaxPax will overwhelm. The Mind Shot! Going for the Prism. But what about the Stalkers? What about everything else? Stalkers are so low. But Clem, he's getting caught with his pants down. We dive on top of the Marauders. Marauders get focused down, and it looks like MaxPax will overwhelm. So many SCVs falling across the map. Clem doing whatever he can, getting a couple of probes here at the third. But it pales in comparison of this damage here at the natural. 21 SCV kills. And again, this is all because the tank push earlier was shut down as hard as it was. The push was shut down, and Clem, he was vulnerable to that counterattack. Clem with the mule. Let's go. As Clem, he almost has nothing left. There's almost nothing left here. Another warping to reinforce. MaxPax, he should have broken this expansion. And 28 SCVs. I mean, some of the Stalkers are falling. Oh! Nice control here against the mine shots. I mean, the micro. Clem, he's microing his heart out with the one Marauder. Well, there's only so much he can do. Only so much. We have reinforcements on the way as well as the Banshee was cleaned up. And with those reinforcements, Clem, he shouldn't be able to hold on. Shouldn't be able to. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. MaxPax will take the first game. Again, Clem, he was so aggressive this game, so assertive as well. He had so much confidence when it came to his tank push, and he was able to get within range of the shield battery, but alas, he was vulnerable to the eventual surround, and MaxPax, he came in from behind. The Immortal popped out just in time as well. And as soon as MaxPax cleaned up that tank push, he just counterattacked. He just immediately counterattacked, did not wait, did not give Clem any time. And Clem, he wasn't ready for it. He had no bunkers. Of course, he had no tanks as they just went down. And Clem was caught out. And with that, GG. GG well played. MaxPax takes the lead. Now we are getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. We are getting ready for that second game. Yo, calm down in the chat. For those that didn't realize, we are not playing on the PTR, so this is the current patch, not the eventual proposed patch, I should say. Just as a heads up. Later on, I say later on tonight, tomorrow morning, or yeah, later on today actually, we will be casting a tournament on the PTR, the Pigosaur Cup. The Pigosaur Cup, I should say. Will be on the PTR, but that is later on in the day. Like 8 hours from now? Yeah, like 8 or so hours from now is going to be our next cast. But here we go, we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone. We have our red Protoss player, the Danish Protoss. Lead the series 1-0, and can he keep up with that momentum? Representing Psystorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, going for some cheese, going for a proxy 2-rax. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. SCVs have moved out. Raxes are on the way. Clem, after that intense game 1, looking to try to raise that intensity earlier on this time instead. As the Raxes are placed. For the time being, MaxPax is in the dark. He's going for the probe scout and will soon confirm that the Rax is missing. Here we go. The battery was bait. It was. Didn't even have to overcharge. I mean, didn't have the opportunity to. Didn't even need it, man. MaxPax almost always goes Phoenix. I don't think that's the case. I know that MaxPax, it was like 2 weeks ago where he did open up Phoenix on Amphion, but if you remember, that was for a 3-base all-in, which did not work against Clem. I do remember he did that last time, but I don't know if it's a trend for MaxPax. For now, MaxPax, he confirms the Rax is missing, is not where it should be, does confirm only a single gas geyser as well. And he has, he did spot it. Did scout the setup. It is going to be proxy marauder from Clem, and MaxPax is getting ready. Shield batteries on the way, Stalker as well. But proxy marauder can hit like a truck. He can just melt shield batteries if they can get on top of them. So we've built up towards 4 marauders, still waiting a little bit longer, of course, for Concussive Shell. It's going to be an SCV to tank some shots. And this is very committed from Clem. It's all on one base. No CC behind this. He's got 4, soon to be 5 Marauders. Clem a little bit supply blocked. His 6th Marauder is going to be delayed. But he does push in. Second shield battery has completed. Overcharge going to be available as well. 3rd shield battery on the way. MaxPax responding with a Stargate. Interesting. We have seen Hero defend against this with a Robo follow-up into a Fast Immortal. But MaxPax instead going for the Stargate. With this, he can go for an Oracle to harass across the map to cripple the economy. So the confidence by MaxPax. He believes he can defend without that next unit, that tech unit. To defend, I mean. Oh, never mind. Void Ray, okay. Not going to be the Oracle first. Void Ray's on the way. Marauders, they dive in, and it looks like the shield battery overcharge. It does not do enough, and the Stalkers go down. And MaxPax, he's in trouble. The boys have to be pulled, but they pulled a little bit too late. Yeah, it's too little too late. The shield batteries, they don't add anything here. We just bypass the shield batteries. Zealot goes down. And so many probes are falling. The Marauders are getting low, though. They are getting quite low. And surely the killing probes of the Void Ray has arrived. Cleans up all the Marauders. MaxPax does defend. Bearing in mind, MaxPax is on 2 bases. He may have lost 13 probes, but he can, of course, replace them. And Clem, he's 1 base all in. He's still on that 1 base. Very chaotic game state. I mean, MaxPax's economy was crippled, that is true. Oracle's on the way. Limited anti-air back at home. Stim is going to be denied. Go for Stim. Does thinking about it. Void Ray comes back, distracted by the Marauder. I mean, again, MaxPax's only unit is the Void Ray. So he has to pull back, which means Stim might finish. Uh-oh. Stim might finish up. Marauder goes down. Oracle's moving out across the map. Back at home, there is nothing. There's a Cyclone in production. True. Cyclone's on the way. Stim is going to be a huge moment here for Clem. Likewise, the Oracle was otherwise distracted. Cyclone, a couple more seconds, it will pop out. And MaxPax, he doesn't dive in. He's waiting for the Void Ray. Now, to be fair, with the help of the Void Ray, he can actually focus on the Cyclone. The initial Cyclone can be targeted. But this is also giving more time for Clem to finish up Stim and build up an army for a counterattack. Cyclone should go down. And now we can just go for SCVs. And that should trigger Clem. He's pushing in. Stim finishing up in 5 seconds. And Clem, he can still pull this off. But a mine has arrived. Marines pushing forward. Clem, he has to hold on to that Stim. And I think Clem's done it. I think this might be enough. He's recalling back home. MaxPax, he does recall. There's the Stim. Gets one Oracle. Ooh, just the one. Again, there's only 3 Marines left. Only 3. Down to 2. Down to 1. 1 Marine remaining. Clemmy's racing back home. MaxPax holds. He's holding, papi. More Oracles on the way. Backup shield batteries. Clem races back. And he's expanding. And do we head towards the mid game? Do we stabilize? No shot. I mean, I do still favor MaxPax. Like, MaxPax, look at the worker count. He's got 34 probes. An insane economy. Combat shields is not denied. Does finish up just barely in time. But MaxPax has a secure economy. He can afford extra production. Gateways are on the way. Twilight Council as well. MaxPax is ahead. And again, this build from Clem had to end the game, and it didn't. He's going to attempt to stabilize, though. Attempt to transition back at home. Void Ray gets saved. Marines doing what they can. And MaxPax, with that lead, he just goes for a third. Just gets further ahead economically. And Clem, he's not going to slow down, actually. I mean, Clem, he can go one of 2 routes, right? Either just turtle and just be hyper defensive, or just try to catch MaxPax being a little bit too greedy. As it does push. Gets eyes on the third. He's going to try to cancel. Takes down the shield battery. That's a kill, not a cancel. Not bad. Gets a couple of hits off. And massive orbit of slow lots. Void Ray takes a lot of damage. Nice stutter step control here from Clem. Oh, the Void Ray, sorry, the Viking is going to fall. Does get an Oracle, though. Here come the Metavacs. Clem, can he still pull this off? Remember, there is no charge. There's no charge on those Zealots. There's another Stim. And picking off 3 more Zealots. Getting another. Force fields are thrown down. Nice micro here with the Metavacs. Another Zealot falls. No more energy on the sentries. And the overcharge is popped. MaxPax barely holding on. Waiting for extra reinforcements. But Clem, he's so close to breaking him. It's so close. The bio. Yeah, he's going to be forced back. The Marauder gets lifted. But reinforcements are on the way, and Clem, it looks like he might just barely have enough. Yeah, there's no more overcharge. Another shield battery does complete, though. That's not enough. It's not enough. Not anymore. The Marines, they hold their own. Pulsar Beam gets wasted. Charge is done. But there are too many Marines. There's too much man with gun, and Clem, he overwhelms. Despite the chaotic start, despite the otherwise failed proxy, Clem, he bounces back, gets into the mineral line, just does not stop with the aggression whatsoever, does not give MaxPax any room to breathe. GG gets called, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. GG. Very intense game. Oh my god. Again, MaxPax, he made the decision to delay his upgrades, delay his tech for a faster third base. That's why Charge finished up late, because he went for a faster Nexus instead. So MaxPax was being greedy. MaxPax, he was being greedy after the initial defense, and once Clem realized, he just hammered down that Marine key, just made as many Marines as possible, rallied across the map, and did eventually barely break MaxPax. Well, did break him, did punish him for being a little bit too greedy in the aftermath of the initial defense. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, still a very close defense though, very close attack from Clem. Oh. As we're getting into our next game. Into game number 3. Let's go. We go. So we're getting into game 3 on site Delta. We're tied at 1-1. Still no clear favorites yet, but Clem has been very chaotic this series. It's been very aggressive both in game 1 and in game 2. And what form of aggression do we see here in game 3? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of site Delta, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Forced into a tied series, and spawning in the bottom right, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1. Can he keep up that momentum? Can he keep going and take a lead in the series? It is Clem. With the Mlem. Beautiful. Beautiful back. Let's go. So we are going to be settling in. And again, if you recall, in game 1, we did see an early bio tank push from Clem, which did fall on its face, which MaxPax was able to shut down. In game 2, we had Proxy 2x Marauder, very committed one-base all-in from Clem, which led into a very odd game state where MaxPax survived, was a little bit too greedy in the aftermath, was punished for it, and now we're getting into game 3. Where are you taking us this time, Clem? Where are we going? Where are we headed? As MaxPax is being as annoying as possible, it is an economic open out of Clem, a Rax Expand, single Gas Geyser, and the CC was delayed by a second or two, likewise forced to send another SCV down to the low ground, so a little bit of a better start for MaxPax, just slightly. Just forcing some inefficiencies out of Clem as we're settling in. Nothing too major. Just being an annoyance. Meanwhile, MaxPax opening up Gate Expand, or Gate Cyber Expand. Is settling in. And we'll see if we see another Twilight Council opener or a Stargate. What do we go for? We have the answer. It's going to be a Stargate. Stargate opener from MaxPax should be Phoenixes in towards the mid-game. Now, this does also mean that MaxPax is going to be vulnerable to early game aggression. And we'll see if Clem tries to abuse that vulnerability. Again, Phoenixes are a great way to gain map control to shut down drop play, but when it comes to committed pushes, Phoenixes can have a harder time. But again, reason why we would see this as well is of the larger map, Site Delta, of course. One of the larger maps in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. Clem is following this up with a 1-1-1. In game 1, we saw a committed tank and Banshee push, at least attempted by Clem. Will they go for it again? Oh, also my apologies. I assumed it was going to be Stargate into Phoenix, but no, that is not true. It's going to be Stargate into Oracle instead. Into a ground switch. Okay. Now, there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, Oracles, they have a lot of early game potential to get some harassing damage and get some SCV kills. That is true. The downside, as opposed to a regular Twilight Council opener, means that Blink, or in this case, most likely Charge, I mean, it could be either one, is going to be delayed. So the Gateway Army is going to be a little bit weaker early on for MaxPax in favor of the Oracle Harass. We'll see what MaxPax gets done. As he is moving out. Reaper gets in, does confirm, gets eyes on the tech. And the Marines are in position. One SCV goes down. And it is going to be Blink. Not Charge. So Oracle into Blink, into a third base for MaxPax. And meanwhile, Clem is still building up back at home. Is stuck defending against the Oracle. Has to respect it. Gets an SCV. It's okay damage. More importantly, the Oracle does force Clem to be more defensive and keeps an eye on the army with those revelations. Giving MaxPax some breathing room. Allowing him to expand. Settling in. Getting to his 3-gate setup. Blink is more than halfway done, so it should finish up. And MaxPax does move out. As a reminder, because of the Oracle, MaxPax, he will have high ground vision, so potentially MaxPax could threaten the main, could threaten a dive. And Clem is getting ready for that. He's got a bunker on the low ground, Marine Marauder here in the main. Oh my god. As the army is spotted. Does load off that bunker. MaxPax looking for another way in. Clem is keeping up with the rotation. Up for the most part. Uh-oh. Yeah, slightly out of position. One Marauder goes down. Nice pickup. MaxPax, he gets some Marauder. He's hoping for another. Does dive in with the Oracle as well. Yeah, better trade here. Second Marauder falls. MaxPax is going to be forced out. But not the worst trade here. At the same time, a depth shades into the mineral line. Gets up. An SCV. Likewise, I believe that was Liberator. Yeah, Liberator harass here in the main. 3 probes do fall. So better harassing damage from Clem. But at least MaxPax, he does delay some of the Marauders. They get 2. Third CC's on the way. Clem just building up towards the mid game. And MaxPax just trying to keep him contained. Did miss the drop though. Medevac did manage to slip by. MaxPax, I mean, he has vision everywhere, but he did miss that medevac. Ooh, or did he? Yeah, barely did. Clem gonna be distracting, engages with the main army, breaks out at the same time, drops into the main. But MaxPax, he does respond in time, does warp in. Yeah, Stalker, shield batteries on the way. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of economic damage though. 11 probes. 11 probes go down, shield battery a little bit too late. Clem, he breaks out. Takes down Stalkers, 11 probes. We'll lose the drop, but that was well worth it. And he reinforces with another Doom drop. He keeps going. Delays the 4th. Stim is done. Can chase back the Stalkers. Getting more pylons. Sending out his reinforcements. Oh. Nice cleanup. Oh my god, full medevac goes down as well. Clem bleeding out a little bit too much here. And he pulls back. He has to calm things down. Lost the full medevac, lost his Widow Mines. Does delay the 4th. And Clemmy backs off and takes his 3rd. Third base is getting up and running. We're on an even base count. An even economy, if not greater economy for Clem. MaxPax needs the 4th. Clem breaks out once again, going for a mine drop. Gets a probe. Let's get a probe. Pulling back home. MaxPax vying for map control. Has yet to really take into any major splash damage. Oh, speaking of, Robotic Spay finally on the way, working towards Colossus. But until then, MaxPax, he only has a gateway army. Uh-oh, he's vulnerable. Brutal Blink. That was a bit of a misclick here from MaxPax, blinking into the army. And MaxPax is in trouble. Clem breaks out. Catches some Zealots. And remember, no Disruptors, no Colossus, no Storm, no nothing for MaxPax. And Clem is snowballing out of control. Ay, ay, ay. Decent force fields. But the Zealots are falling. And so are the Stalkers. And Clemmy snowballs from here. Takes down the 4th base. He can keep pushing. MaxPax across the map, trying to go for some Zealot harass. We'll get some SCVs. And that will delay some reinforcements. But Clemmy doesn't turn around. Does he go for the natural? Does he go for the 3rd? He's going for the 3rd. Medevacs are exposed. And has to back off. Meanwhile, the Zealots, they only got 5 SCVs. Not too much damage. Good crisis management here out of Clem. Even targets out another Stalker. Ay, ay, ay. So many Stalkers falling. And that leads into the supply lead that Clem has. Finally, the first Colossus is on the way, but it might just be too little too late for MaxPax. As he needs more than just one. Prism is denied. Viking comes in to chase it down, forcing a recall. And now that the Prism is forced to recall, Clem, he can focus on his push. He can focus on his army. He has that army supply lead. Could be breaking out. It's going to be a tough defense here for MaxPax. With the 1 Colossus. And there's no shield battery. Okay, does force field. Whew. Does buy some time. And he scans, gets the EMP off on the Colossus. He wants it, and he gets it. He sims in, Colossus goes down instantly. And from here, he can just sim and win. Mine shot, some of them get baited out. Well, there's only Stalkers left. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 3. GG does take a 2-1 lead. Again, Clem just initially playing more defensive because of the initial Stargate Oracle opener. Forced to be more passive, and he was able to build up and eventually break out and snowball from there. Just pulling MaxPax apart, delaying the 4th base, delaying the economy. What's important about what occurred as well, I should also emphasize with the late 4th, is that because MaxPax was relying so heavily on his gateway army, that's where a greater economy is more necessary, as he was lighter on gases and of course didn't have a robo or a bay. Didn't have any kind of anchor point to his army. And as a result, he was vulnerable. Was vulnerable to Clem. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we have potentially the final game ahead of us. Clem, will he get the 4-1, or will MaxPax force the ace match? Now, I'm hoping for a game 5. I'm hoping to get the most out of this and get an ace match. But the pressure's on MaxPax. Pressure is on. We'll see if he can. Here we go. What was that blink? Yeah, as you mentioned, it was a bit of miscontrol from MaxPax. If the moment you're referring to was in the middle of the map when MaxPax, he accidentally blinked into the army. I'm pretty sure he was trying to blink away from the Widowmine shot. If you remember, there was like a Widowmine in the center of the map, and MaxPax, he was trying to clean it up. Blinks into the army, and then Clem caught him out from there. Ah. Here we go. As we're getting into game 4. And it's going to be on Oceanborn. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss, down in the series, but he needs your help. He needs your support in the chat to bounce back and to force the ace match. For Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the French Terran, representing Team Liquid, one game away from winning the entire tournament and becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. It is Clem. Onomas is all he needs. Again, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping we can get the most out of these two players. But it is all on MaxPax. As Clem, this time he throws down his racks back at home. There's no proxy. No crazy proxy marauder this time. But Clem is opening up double gas. Interesting. We did not see this on side Delta. So double gas opener out of Clem. This will lead into a faster factory, a delayed CC. So Clem being a little bit more aggressive. You could argue being a little bit safer as well. Will lead into earlier Hellions, earlier Cyclones. This MaxPax just being as annoying as possible. Ooh. Does not quite get the SCV, but does force out another. So Rax will complete. Reaper's on the way. And back at home, MaxPax just going Gate, Cyber into the Nexus. Standard opener. Standard play out of MaxPax. They're both late for the KSR Cup, though. Hope they still get to play there too. Oh, right. That kind of clashes with this tournament. True. Did they sign up and check in? No shot. I mean, if this goes to the ace match, then they most likely would have to forfeit. Depending on where they're seated. True. Like, I don't know if the bracket is live, but if Clem and MaxPax don't have a round one opponent, if they're seeded into the second round, then they should be fine. They should be okay. If not, then there could be some problems. That's what we're not buy. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, like if they have a buy in the first round, then they'll be okay. Otherwise, Twilight Council opener out of MaxPax. Reaper is going to be chased down. Nice pickup. MaxPax has gained map control. Meanwhile, Clem back at home. I was curious what it was going to go for with the initial factory. It is just going to be initial Widowmine, into Cyclone, into drop play. As the starport is done and the medevac is on the way. So Clem will soon move out. Likewise, catching out the adepts. Very nice stutter stepping. First adept goes down. Better trade here for Clem. 2 Marines for 1 adept. The other will escape. And here comes that medevac. Meanwhile, back at home, oh my god, that's a lot of gates. And for the first time this series, for the first time, MaxPax, he's going for his tried and true 4-gate Blink Stalker. Let's go. It's what he's known for. He has the best 4-gate Blink in the world. And we'll see if he can overwhelm and catch out Clem. Basically, MaxPax is going to be hyper aggressive with Blink Stalkers. Adept gets chased down. And Clem is in the dark. He doesn't really know what he's pushing into. But that's also why it's important that this army moves out. Not just to get some damage, but also to scout his opponent. To get a read on what's going on. So he does head towards the natural. We got 2 gates in the natural, 2 gates in the main. When Angel comes in. Ooh, does not pop off. Now Clem does at least spot the robo, but he hasn't seen the gateways. Doesn't know how many there are. Loading up and dropping in towards the main. The Stalker army is amassing. Prism is on the way as well. MaxPax is moving out. As he moves out, Clem is moving in. Meanwhile, back at home, what do we have to defend? We have some tank production. We have a bunker on the low ground. Clem is getting ready. He is setting up, playing it safe. His natural's looking quite secure. Needs a little bit more time for that bunker. But the main base is exposed. 100%. The main base is very exposed. Here comes MaxPax. Warping in 4 Stalkers at a time. pushing in towards the main. He has high ground vision. And there's no tank. Yeah, there's no tank here. He dives in, delays the Raxes, picks off the SCVs, and he can camp the production. The tank pops out. He wants it. He wants the tank. He gets one. One tank goes down, and Clemmy's in trouble. He is in trouble. He does drop towards the natural. There's one tank left over, unsieged. Marines are falling. MaxPax being forced back, rotating over towards the mineral line. SCVs are falling, likewise sword probes. Uh-oh. Clemmy's getting a lot done here. It's going to be 10 probes going down. Meanwhile, Clem just trying to force MaxPax out of the main. Does lose 10 SCVs. And we're going back and forth. We do go blow for blow. 13 probes for 10 SCVs. But Clem, can he hold on? That tank is still very low. Blinks in. Goes for the tank. Repairs a little bit late. The tank is going to go down. Gets an extra shot off, though. Meanwhile, 15 probes do fall across the map. 15 in total. Clem does outtrade MaxPax, true. I mean, Clem, he does have an SCV lead now. Up in workers, up in economy. MaxPax diving into the natural. Tank is not quite in position. Not bad. SCVs are going down. Picks off Marines as well. Again, without tanks, Clem, he just can't engage. Just cannot fully engage. So MaxPax is going for a split push. Going for the depot. But there's a tank. There's some good SimCity. Meanwhile, he does the live. No. Reaper gets across the map. Tank volley's going off. The repairs that we repair in time. Not quite. Tank does fall. It looks like MaxPax, he may just have enough. Takes down all the Marines. Takes down the tank as well. Reinforcements are on the way, but MaxPax, he just warps in. He just keeps going. Oh, he's barely being forced out of the main, though. So many Marines going down. Ay, ay, ay. Clem does catch the Observer. Does notice. MaxPax rotating around, diving on the tank. Bold move. Gets the tank. Does save most of the Stalkers. And he can just keep going. As long as the tank count stays low, he can just keep going. And eventually, Clem is going to be overwhelmed. And Clem, he doesn't have any factory production. And MaxPax, it looks like he may have just done it. Gets the final Marauder. Stim finishes up in 5 seconds. With the help of Stim, Clem is going to be able to hold on. But no Marauders. That's the problem here. Only Marine. There's that Stim. Going for the War Prism. And it's not going to be enough. GG gets called. MaxPax overwhelms, and MaxPax ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Shout out to Sniper for the raid. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session, I'm assuming. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the final game of the final series of the WardiTV Monday. We're here getting into the ace match. Again, MaxPax opting to go for 4-gate blink. Clem did do a lot of damage across the map, but because of his build, it did mean that his tank production was delayed. His setup and defensive setup was delayed as well. So Clem, he was caught with his pants down, and MaxPax did take advantage of him. I mean, it was still quite close. It was still very clutch and very close between Clem and MaxPax. But in the end, MaxPax was able to snipe, more importantly, the tanks, the Marauders, one after the other. And now we're going to Game 5. We're going to the ace match. So someone said the bracket is live. The bracket doesn't, the KSRC doesn't start for another 13 minutes. They're fine. They're fine. They've got half an hour. All good. All good. As we're getting into the ace match and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the red Protoss player from Denmark representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. You got me scared, pal. Got me scared. we go. So we are going to be settling in. And we'll see what kind of openers we go for this time here, as Clem is once again opening up double gas, going for a faster factory. Why can't Clem and MaxPax just be friends? Well, MaxPax is a Protoss. So, I mean, that's already a problem, Pappy. That's already... Oh, no. Not like this. Not like this. Maybe another... Maybe if MaxPax starts to off-race, like as Terran, maybe. Maybe there can be some camaraderie. As Clem does fully wall off. Interesting. So because of this, MaxPax, he has no idea what's going on. For all MaxPax knows, it could be an economic opener. It could be a more aggressive opener. MaxPax is denied the scout and will be forced out. Never scared in your company. Oh, no. Ahí está. And we'll see what Clem embraces here. What does he embrace? But now just factory into, I imagine, CC. Clem going for the CC on the high ground, it looks like. So very safe follow-up. Yeah, CC on the high ground. So just a safer start for Clem. As he is settling in. Likewise, MaxPax once again going for a Twilight Council opener. Now, do we see 4-gate blink for a second time? I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be honest. Like, I feel like MaxPax, again, he has the best 4-gate blink control in the world. It's just kind of what he's known for. It's like his signature move. And I feel like it's a good way to try to catch out Clem. And doing it 2 games in a row, though, I mean, that can be a little bit tricky. I would imagine that maybe Clem is just going to... I mean, we've already seen just a safer opener out of our Terran player. So after that last game, he might just take a more safe approach. We'll see. We'll see what we go for. As the Reaper's coming in for a scout, Adepts are in position to deny. So Clem is zoned back. We do see that Clem once again is going for a drop, but this time he doesn't commit as hard. Now, if you remember, last game, Clem, his tank production was delayed because he went for a Cyclone before Tech Lab. He went for a Widowmine Cyclone drop alongside the Marines, so it was more tech-heavy factory-wise, and because of that, the tank production was stifled. This time, ooh, we're going for an add-on swap. Once again, tank production is going to be delayed in favor of Banshee first. Okay, so Clem is being hyper-aggressive here. Initially going into Banshee, followed by tank. Meanwhile, the drop does get across the map, dropping into the window, into the natural, into the mineral line. One Adept does go down. Nice juggling here out of Clem. Oh, losing 1 Marine. Not bad. Does preserve his units. Losing only 1 Marine. He wants the Adept. He wants it. Oh, doesn't quite get it. Going for the mineral line, delaying some of the economy. It just being so annoying. Meanwhile, how many gateways do we have? 2 gates at the natural, 2 gates in the main. It's 4-gate blink once again. So MaxPax, he's doing what he does best. 4-gate blink Stalker. But the Marines are getting so much done early on. Blink just now finishing. Ooh, medevac goes down. Nice cleanup. 4 probes did fall. And now, does Clem have enough to defend? Remember, his tanks are going to be delayed. He has 1 tank so far. 2nd tank is on the way. Bunker is being thrown down. And now it's time for Clem to defend. At the same time, though, he's moving out with that Banshee. With Cloak. Bold move. His goal here is to cripple the economy while Clem defends. We'll see if he can. See if Clem can pop off. Banshee does slip into the main. At the same time, MaxPax, he spots the army. Delays the bunker, dives on the tank. The tank is going to fall. A massive pickup. Marines as well. Banshee is getting a lot of economic damage across the map. At least the bunker does finish. Clem, he holds onto the natural. Clem is holding. Meanwhile, across the map, he gets 7 probe kills. Not bad. Does get some economic damage. 2nd tank does arrive. He's here behind the wall. So far, so good. Clem is holding. He's holding on. And MaxPax, he's quite committed. Remember, 4 Gapeling Stalker, he has to get more damage. But Clem is now up to 2 tanks in the main. Oof. Oh, that's brutal. MaxPax going to try and bait out some of those shots on the Zealots. First tank goes down. But that second tank does punish. Viking does arrive as well. Zoning MaxPax back. Gets forced out of the main. Continued tank production. Observer is in position. Does spot the movement. Couple of boys are pre-pulled. Oh, but they're late to repair. Yeah, they're 1 second too late. Bunker does fall. Tank is not in position. Them trying to hold on. Tank does head towards the ramp. Oof. Forces back MaxPax. Another massive warp in. Yeah, it looks like MaxPax, he might just have too much. He dives on the tank. Does focus it down eventually. Gets a tank. Gets the Banshee. Marines doing what they can. But SCVs are going to fall. And with good enough blinks, MaxPax, it looks like he should be able to overwhelm. And denies the bunker. Tank getting in position. Gets focused down immediately. There was a second tank on the high ground. Oh my god, the punish! Not bad. But where are the Marines? Where's the bio? Clem, he might just barely not have enough. 15, 16 SCV kills, and MaxPax again doing what he does best. 4 blink pat, the best in the world. That's all he needs. Gets 16 SCVs. Warps in more stalkers. Long distance mining. Getting another expansion. Slaps the Raven. And he can just keep rotating. And again, Clem is just down to 1 tank. He's down to 1 tank, and that's not going to be enough. MaxPax can just keep poking left and right. Going for the factory. Can even snipe the tech lab. Stim was never begun. Oh, that's brutal as well. Oh, no. And with that MaxPax, he will overwhelm. The Prism does fall, so no more reinforcements. But there's no more army either. Gets the final tank. There's 4 Marines left. Vanilla Marines. Down to 2, down to 1. And despite how many WardiTV Mondays Clem has taken, despite how many he's won, MaxPax he's popping off this week. Again, punishing some of the aggression of Clem, especially earlier in the series. And again, just going for his finisher here. He doesn't quite get the bunker. Does survive. Just barely. The only thing keeping Clem alive in this game is the fact that he killed the Warp Prism earlier, but it has been replaced. There we go. Massive warp in. It was only just buying time. And Clem has broken MaxPax has broken Clem's back. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. GG, well played. It was a bold move for Clem to go for the initial Banshee aggression. I mean, he was able to kill some probes across the map, but again, it was only, what, 6 or 7 probe kills. Meanwhile, that did mean that Stim was delayed. Even though he was getting to his tank production, again, we saw that Stim was never resourced there, so there was never kind of a window where Clem would be able to support his tank army. Once he started losing one and then another, then it just quickly snowballed out of control, and MaxPax did overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. Clem just trying to be cheeky by going for the initial Banshee, and again, he did do some damage, but not enough. Not enough in the end. Congratulations, MaxPax. He will bring Clem down and will be our champion. GG. GG, well played. Let's go. But I'm sure they're getting ready for another rematch, because there's another Open Cup right around the corner. Right around the corner. It was said earlier in the chat, in 3 minutes time, the Kalaris Steadfast Roddy Cup is going to begin. So you still have 3 minutes, still plenty of time to get some food, get some water, and get ready for the next event. We will not be casting, and we're going to be going to sleep, going to be going to bed. And our next cast here on the CranKy Ducklings is going to be in 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live here on the channel with the Pigosaur Cup. That is going to be played on the PTR. I believe so is the Kalaris Steadfast Roddy Cup as well. It's all going to be played on the PTR. So actually, while I'm sleeping, I'm going to download the PTR. I haven't downloaded it yet. I've not downloaded it. So I will have to do so before the cast. Otherwise, I won't be able to cast. So that's going to be the plan in 7 hours. Otherwise, enjoy the Kalaris events, enjoy the KSRC. And again, I believe both MaxPax and Clem are going to be competing in that tournament as well. So the potential rematch is going to be there. Is going to be there for those two players. Regardless, congratulations to MaxPax. I mentioned before leading into this that Clem has been the heavy favorite over the past couple of months. He has been the one to win, and even in this series was favored as well. But MaxPax was able to take it to him, was able to punish some of the over-aggression from Clem, especially in Game 1, was able to get into his own games as well here in Game 4 and Game 5. So very well done here by MaxPax, and we'll see if he can do it 2 series in a row. As again, I'm sure they're going to have a rematch in the KSRC. So make sure you tune into that. I believe it's going to be casted by Rotterdam, by Steadfast. I believe Zombie Grub does cast from time to time. Potentially Chicken Man, Dave Testa, and some of the other English casters. Again, because I'm living here in Australia, it's just at a really, really bad time zone for us. It is 4 a.m. 4 a.m. in the morning. I would like to get some sleep. So I'm going to go to bed. Gonna go get some sleep, and I'll wake up like in 5 hours to get ready for the next cast, for the next tournament. Also, thank you so much for all the happy birthday wishes that we got earlier. Thank you. I do appreciate it. It was during the quarterfinals or the round of 16 where it ticked over onto the 29th of October. So thank you. Do appreciate it. And after the cast, after the Pigosor Cup, I'll do like a birthday stream. We'll play some ladder, and we'll play probably some other games as well, other than just StarCraft. So, well, we'll see what happens. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to help support us here on the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via either subscribing or check out our Patreon. You can follow us on all the social medias, !socials in the chat if you guys want to follow us. We do post whenever we go live on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We also stream live on YouTube as well, so we're live both on YouTube and on Twitch, so you can check us out if you're interested. VODs are available instantly on YouTube, so if you want some VOD content, YouTube has you covered. Again, we're catching up when it comes to VODs. I'm like a month behind, so we're slowly catching up on that VOD content. So yeah, do check it out. Do consider checking it out. Happy birthday. Oh, gracias, Wormshy, gracias. Shema. Jenki. Let no spider or capybara disturb it. I did not find the spider, by the way. I was looking. I moved the entire desk. I was checking behind the curtain, in the window sill. Like I was checking underneath the bed. I did not find the spider. It is still at large. Don't know where it went. For those who don't know, last night when we were casting Sparkling Tuna Cup, I was surprised by a thin black spider that had wandered onto my hand during the cast. I think it was during the semifinals, if I remember correctly. I just shook it off at the time. Just because I was focusing on the cast, I was focusing on the StarCraft. But that means it's somewhere in the room. Don't know where, but it's somewhere. Oh no. So I have a guest. It's still yeah, it's somewhere. No. It'll be fine. Copium. I mean, this is around the time in Australia where insects like that become more active because it's getting hotter, right? Like it's we're getting into summer. I guess it might be odd in other parts of the world, but here in Australia, the end of the year or Christmas time is like summer here. It gets real hot. Instead of like snow and like, you know, a bunch of clothes, it's all about, you know, swimwear and barbecues outside for Christmas and all that stuff, like to deal with the summer heat. But it also means that like animals and insects and stuff like that are more active. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. Time to burn the house. Oh no, not like this. Papi download stuff in his sleep. Of course. I'm gonna be I'll be downloading the PTR and maybe another game for the birthday. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We're gonna be live tomorrow with the Pigosor Cup in 7 hours. or later today, I guess. And our next cast after that, I believe, is going to be the podcast. Let me just double check. No, sorry, yeah, the podcast. The podcast on Thursday as well. As a reminder, the PTR is going to be used for both the Pigosaur Monday and the KSRC. So enjoy during on the PTR. Enjoy the new patch. Enjoy the new maps as well. We'll be doing the same over on our own channels as well. So yeah, look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. We'll find someone to raid, so don't you worry. Otherwise, see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.